Hi-oh, and welcome back, gang. Thank you for tuning back into Sledgehammer TV. And while I will admit the WWE product overall has gotten just a little bit better, there's still lots of things wrong with it overall, which is what we are here to talk about today. We are going to bring the hammer down on everything that was wrong with WWE Wrestlemania Backlash, and we are going to do that right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is Everything Wrong with WrestleMania Backlash right here on Sledgehammer TV. The very first thing wrong with this show took place before they even decided to book the first match of this card. It happened when somebody made the decision to decide to still call this show WrestleMania Backlash. The name Backlash, in and of itself, provides all the information you need to know. You should only be calling a pay-per-view, premium live event. Premium live event, lots has changed since we've been away. But anytime a premium live event should have WrestleMania in the title, the only time that should happen is when it's actually WrestleMania. The word Backlash means what it means, and the title of this pay-per-view I always thought was appropriate for a reason. There's no need to call it WrestleMania Backlash. There's not like another pay-per-view in between WrestleMania and Backlash where you have to specify, well, no, this is the Backlash to WrestleMania. No, it implies itself. It's unnecessary, and they're only using it as a very cheap and I guess somewhat effective way to make this Backlash pay-per-view feel more important than it actually is. Number 2. Second thing wrong with this show actually happened during the Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins match. And you're probably thinking, oh my god, you're crazy, that match was great. And yeah, that match was great. Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins told an excellent story of how Seth freaking Rollins this time was going to be ready for Cody Rhodes. He was able to prepare for Cody Rhodes, reversing him at every turn and even coming very close to actually winning this match on many occasions and almost making it look easy because he was well prepared for Rhodes. It was a great story with a great match with a great conclusion, and I thought it made Cody Rhodes look like a viable contender to Roman Reigns' World Heavyweight Universal Championship. I liked everything about this match, except for one thing. The one thing wrong with this match was the over-obnoxious amount of times the announce team referred to Seth freaking Rollins as Seth freaking Rollins. You know, you could just call him Seth. You could just call him Rollins. You could call him anything you want. You didn't have to say Seth freaking Rollins a million times throughout this match. It was distracting, and if you had to take a shot every time these morons on the announce desk said Seth freaking Rollins, you would be absolutely shit-faced about 2 minutes in to this 30-minute Matt Classic. But I did enjoy the match, but that definitely took away from it something very wrong. Seth freaking Rollins. Oh, Seth freaking Rollins reversed it. Seth freaking Rollins has got Cody Rhodes. Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Off. Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Annoying. This match gets 4 out of 5 hammers. Would have probably got 5. But Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Annoying. Number 3. Omos versus Lashley. Not a lot of good to say about this match. In fact, everything about this match's existence is wrong. The fact that it was booked was wrong. MVP turning on Bobby Lashley is wrong. MVP being aligned with Omos is wrong. Omos now being called the Nigerian Giant Omos just feels kind of wrong. He's just clearly limited in his abilities in the ring. MVP doesn't add anything to him. He's just a mouthpiece. It makes him look stupid that he turned on the almighty milk dud himself, Bobby Lashley, who's a former multiple-time champion. You're putting all your eggs in the giant Nigerian Omasa's basket. It's a pretty big freaking basket, but I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care. Look at my birds.
And the other big thing wrong with this match is not the fact that Omos picked up the win with your typical managerial interference booking of the finish of the match. It's that I know for a fact that this has only just begun, and I just don't care. 2 out of 5 hammers. And that's being generous. Number 4. Edge and AJ Styles had one hell of a match. This is probably the best story going for me personally in the WWE. This was really just a case of 2 of the best ever going out there and showing the world why they are considered 2 of the best ever, tearing the house down. I thought this was a much better match even than their match at WrestleMania. It was my favorite match of the night. A very subtle nuance of Edge focusing his attack on AJ Styles' shoulder, and then the way Styles modified all his offense following that to sell the fact that his shoulder was hurt. It was classic wrestling at its best. What was wrong with this great match? You're going to ask me, and I'm going to tell you the only reason to bring the hammer down here, with the plan for the finish being interference by a new member to Edge's Purple Rain House of Madness Judgment Day faction. There was really no need for the interference by Damian Priest. Damian Priest, the nature of the match had him barred from ringside. So the minute he came out, really Edge should have lost because they broke the rules. There was no reason for him to cause a distraction to allow an unknown person to come in and interfere. It seemed to me like WWE just wanted to squeeze Finn Balor and Damian Priest into this show somehow. And they could have done that backstage. Maybe Damian Priest was going to make his way towards the ring and he gets caught up by Finn Balor backstage. They have a brawl to the back, which distracts Edge and maybe gives AJ the advantage. And then the new disciple shows up with the mask on and causes the whole thing. Probably would have made much more sense. But it just really was unnecessary. And the reveal of Rhea Ripley was fine. I just also feel like they should have saved that maybe for Raw. I feel like so many people thought it was going to be Tommaso Ciampa that the surprise of it was kind of there because there were rumors of Ripley joining this faction as well. But I would have saved it for Raw. And that is the problem with WWE. It's little moments like this because you could have had this mystery person interfere and leave the arena without the reveal. And now everybody's going to be like, well, who the hell was that? It didn't look like Ciampa. Maybe it was Ciampa. We won't know. Guess we're going to have to tune into Raw to find out. That's called a cliffhanger, ladies and gentlemen. That's TV 101, and WWE's always just blowing their loads out real quick. They don't understand that sometimes edging, no pun intended, is the way to keep people coming back. You know what I'm saying? This match, again, would have got 5 out of 5. But we're dropping 4 out of 5 hammers for this one. Just because they decided to overbook it with all of the Damian Priest and Finn Balor stuff. Otherwise, best match of the night. Best story that they're doing. Overall, I dig it. The SmackDown brand decided to kick off their end of the show with the I Quit match for the Women's Championship. And the main thing wrong with this is more a personal thing, I guess, for me. I just have zero investment in either one of these characters. I have been over Charlotte Flair for years. If you've been a follower of this channel before we took our vacation or a little break, whatever you want to call it, you know that Charlotte Flair is probably one of my least favorite superstars. Not anything personal, it's just WWE's presentation of her. It's the Roman Reigns effect, shoving her down everybody's throat, and I just am sick and tired of the taste of Charlotte Flair. Ronda Rousey, on the other hand, just has always felt so manufactured to me. She doesn't come across as genuine. She feels like she's trying very hard to play the part of a WWE superstar and is not actually embracing the role of the WWE superstar. Maybe if she wore some loose pants or some long pants so she didn't have to spend half the match pulling at her crotch, and maybe she could focus a little bit more. We've been talking about that too. It's been since she debuted, she's been wearing these pants that she's always got to adjust all throughout the match. You see any of the other girls doing this? No one else is picking wedgies or doing anything. No, but Ronda every 2 seconds is just pulling her friggin' pants out of her crotch. Get some new gear, maybe you can focus better. However, these girls did go out there and beat the shit out of each other. They had a hell of a hardcore style match. It was entertaining, and the fact that they could pull me in and entertain me in this match, even though I had absolutely zero investment in either character, is a credit to both of these girls. Despite all of the effort that the WWE put into this build and everything, it's just really unfortunate that as a fan, I just really don't care.
I don't care. Look at my birds.
Ronda Rousey makes Charlotte say I quit? Great. So now what? The women's division's still a mess. It's still lacking major star power, especially on the blue brand. Good news is Charlotte Flair is supposed to be taking some time off. She's going to use this injury to go and get married. So finally we can get some different stories for the girls if they can find some girls to write some stories for. This match, again, 4 out of 5 stars. Surprise! Bet you weren't expecting that. I know you were all expecting this, because the next thing, number 6, Madcap Moss defeating Happy Corbin. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Other than Happy and Madcappy, who gives a shit? They care because it's their story and they want to go out and do their best job. I don't give a shit. I haven't cared about Happy Dappy Corbin in years either. WWE made that happen. And everybody's, this is some of the best work that Happy's done in years. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Much like the women's match, I have zero investment in either character. I did not care. What was wrong with this match? Everything. It exists. This storyline has been going on for months and months and months. All we can hope at its best is that it's over. But something tell me, like Omos and Lashley, the other crappy feud that they focused on this premium live event, this isn't far from over. And I really could care less. Madcappy Moss and Happy Dappy Corbin can go right back to the garbage bin where they deserve to be. This match gets 0 out of 5 hammers. In fact, there's a special hammer for this one, and we're gonna drop it for the first time on the new and improved Sledge TV, and it is called the Poop Hammer. Yeah, you get it. He used to get it a lot. He's gonna get it again. Happy Corbin and Madcappy, yous get the Poop Hammer. Because when you suck at wrestling, there's only one thing you gonna get. And we gonna drop the Poop Hammer on you. Both of you. And this probably won't be the last time either. Number 7 comes in the form of the main event, the Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew McIntyre, because Backlash is the one time of the year where Raw versus SmackDown superstars, that whole bit. So much for Survivor Series being special. Anyway, this match had no business being as good as it was. This was a really fun match where everybody had their moment to shine, especially Randy Orton, who was apparently the most over person in the ring, even maybe more so than Roman Reigns. The crowd was on fire for Randy. He hit everybody with an RKO. He got the biggest reaction in the match. It was a really fun match with a very strange conclusion, which is only one of the many things we found wrong within this main event. First of all, what's wrong with this? Because it was so good, Mr. Nightmare. What the hell was so bad about this? Well, first of all, the overall build to this thing was a hot mess. It was a shit sandwich, and it tasted horrible going down. 1 minute the tag team titles are being unified, Roman's not a part of it, then Roman wants to be a part of it, then it's a 6-man, and then there's no titles on the line. It just was a whole big confusing mess, and it all culminates here at WrestleMania Backlash in this 6-man. The action was great, but the overall story they were telling was very poor, and I feel like the WWE really missed the opportunity to cement any one of these three guys, no matter who they chose, whether it was Drew, Randy, or even Riddle for that matter. You could have made them look good and really positioned them as viable contenders to Roman's title and his seat at the head of the table by having RK Bro win this match in some way, shape, or form. Or, what I really think they should have did was, if Roman was going to end up winning anyway, would it have really hurt to have get a little creative? And if you were going to take the tag team title unification off the table for the 6-man, you should have put Roman's title on the line. Right? Roman you want to be in this match? Paul Heyman was all pissed off that Roman Reigns doesn't have a match on the card. Adam Pearce puts him in the match, but here, the Universal Championship is going to be on the line, and whoever pins you, if they pin you specifically, that's the caveat. The Usos can't lose the title for Roman, because that would be a cheap cop-out. If you just leave it hanging out there, if Roman Reigns is the one that gets pinned, whoever pins Roman Reigns gets the championship. So that leaves the door open for all three men on the babyface team to have the motivation to really win this match, which then adds drama within the team. RK Bro is closer than ever, but imagine if this was hanging over their head. You could have put some really interesting bits in the match to sell that. Maybe Drew McIntyre almost breaks up a pinfall for Randy Orton, something like that. Create some interior drama, because you knew you were booking Roman to win anyway. And it would have at least made the match have higher stakes, would have made it much more interesting. It just also kind of makes all of the baby faces look kind of poor. Like, these three guys came together and couldn't beat the Bloodline. The Bloodline's virtually unstoppable. Are you really going to get behind a Drew McIntyre run? If WWE was smart, they would really go with Randy Orton. I know the whole RK Bro thing's fun, but you don't have to turn Randy Orton. You don't even have to break him away from RK Bro. Just give him a singles run with his little buddy Riddle, and then maybe Randy wins the title. Why not? I know he doesn't really need it. His character doesn't need it, but who else do they have that you would believe could actually beat Roman? And Randy's over like Rover right now. The crowd's eating him up. His partnership with Matt Riddle was nothing but good for him. I would never believe Randy Orton as a babyface before this whole thing happened. This match gets another 4 out of 5 hammers. Despite the errors we've pointed out here in Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash 2022, 3 out of the 6 matches that they gave us were pretty excellent. 2 were the drizzling shits, and the women's match was pretty good. And I have to give this show bonus points as well for coming in under 3 hours. 6 matches, 2 hours, 50-something minutes. It made it even more enjoyable, more digestible, because the show flowed pretty quickly, and before I knew it, it was over. And I appreciate that and wish they would understand that if they would cut Raw to 2 hours, it would probably be easier to digest as well. Better than 9-hour wrestling extravaganzas that seemingly went on forever and bored you into a coma, right? 3 hours, solid action. Half the show was great. Half the show, meh. So this show gets an unusually high 4 out of 5 hammers. It ended up being the average. There was a lot of four hammer shows. 4 hammer matches on this show. It was great. It was great. But what wasn't great, wasn't great. Don't forget, hammer's always gonna come and get you, because there's always something wrong, even when they do their best. Thank you all so very much for returning to Sledgehammer TV with me. We're changing things up. If you're still watching, obviously you're a longtime fan. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe and to look forward to more from Sledgehammer TV, because we're not just bringing the hammer down on wrestling anymore. There's lots of things I want to talk about, and we are going to expand topics. You guys know I've been talking about this, and it's taken a long time to get everything set. You see, we got new graphics, new everything. We're revamping the whole channel. We are going to be new and fresh, and we are going to talk about all kinds of things. This is no longer going to just be a wrestling channel, and I got a lot in the works for you guys. They take a little bit more time because, you know, you see the better production value and everything, and I am a one-man studio. I ain't got no help. I can't sub out this, or I don't have a Randy Andy Datsun or a Simon Miller or a staff of people to help me. I'm a one-man show, so just be patient with me. I love each and every one of you. Thank you to every one of you guys that have showed me support during my break, which was very important for my mental health. I had to get my shit together, and I'm feeling better than I ever have in a while, and I wanted to get something up there and out for you. And we're as you see, we're changing things up. We're doing things a little bit differently, and I'll keep you posted. And you stay subscribed, and you'll see more as the hammer comes down all across pop culture, sports entertainment, and media. My name is Nick Nightmare. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so very much. That, my friends, do it. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on Sledgehammer TV.